Hello and welcome to a tutorial on how to create segments on the platform Attentive, brought to you by Z from Sandhill Digital. When you log into your Attentive account, you're going to see the left-hand sidebar here. Beneath Audience, you're going to have an option to click on Segments, and that is what we have done here. If this was not a test account, you would see multiple lists and segments here, but this is a test account, so we're going to create one from scratch. Once you click on that, you're going to have the option to choose between a dynamic segment, a segment template, or a manually uploaded segment. Manually uploaded segments are basically lists. A segment template is sort of like a template for an email or an SMS where it's already set up to a decent degree, and AI helps you significantly here. I do suggest this if you're feeling uncomfortable with creating a segment, but ultimately I usually create a dynamic segment, which is basically from scratch. So here is where you have the meat of the task. You can choose between a subscriber's activity, a subscriber's characteristics, or members of a non-dynamic segment, something I don't usually use very often. I usually use these two options. Let's do the second one first. A subscriber's characteristics will be anything that's attached to their profile based on their behaviors or how they subscribed, even their purchases and whatnot. And I will note that this list gets longer and there are more options the more customized your platform is. This is a test account, so we just have the base standards here. But you could segment people based on city or state or zip code, for instance. Furthermore, once you had more integrations and whatnot, you could, segment people based on their activity on the site, if they've abandoned a cart, things of that nature. And it can get even broader to loyalty programs and whatnot. So the list is very long there. We can switch activities now and go to the opposite of that, which is somebody's actions, not just what's subscribed to their profile. Here we can make segments based on if somebody subscribed to text, received a text. And once again, this list can actually get a lot longer the more integrations you have and APIs and customization you have in place. But we're just going to click on subscribe to text. So this segment right now is going to bring in anybody who has subscribed to text in the last 365 days. From here, we can actually go back and change if we want to say received a text. And we can say, okay, well, do we want it to be at least once? Do we want it more than a certain number, less than a certain number, or equal to? When you do that, it gives you an option to choose that number. We're just going to say at least once here, but I wanted to show you that. Also, you can say when this happened. You can do in the last certain amount of days, over all time, certain amount of days ago. You can also say between the last, and you can say a certain amount of days to a certain amount of days. You can do between dates. You can do dates here as well for on and after and before. Basically, there's lots of options here. In the last is a very common parameter that I utilize though. So in the last 365 days, and then you can further filter based on is the campaign this or that, or the journey is this or that. So it's pretty nuanced where you can further hone and drill down to people have received a text at least once in the last 365 days, where the journey is, and then you can click welcome flow A, for instance, and you can actually even drill deeper to say maybe you only want people who received the second email in the welcome flow, for instance. So you can get very deep here. Furthermore, you can go in here and you can click select another option. You can also say you want it to be both options, or you can say any of the options. Basically, it's and or, and that will change that down here, the Boolean. If we wanted to go any farther here, we could go click on subscribers activity again and say maybe we wanted this person to also have clicked a link. A short link is basically just a link. If you've watched our campaign video that discusses that at greater length. And once again, you can change the parameters down there. This is basically all you need to do for segmentation. It's up to you to how creative and in-depth you want that segment to be. And then you would just click create, and you'd utilize this for campaigns and flows and even sign-up forms potentially.